Don't waste your life. Segment 1. The wake up that most people never get. Listen carefully, really carefully, because what you're about to hear is not the kind of message you scroll past. This is the message that millions of people in the UK, America, Canada, and Australia wish they had heard 5 years earlier. A message people realize too late, when the opportunities have evaporated, when life has already squeezed them into corners they never wanted to live in. Let's start with the truth. Most people are wasting their lives, not because they're lazy, not because they're stupid, not even because they lack talent. They're wasting their lives because they don't think time is real. Everyone knows they will die someday, but nobody actually believes it. And that disbelief is the silent killer. It makes you think you can delay the gym, the job application, the business idea, the dream, the discipline. You think you can sleep an extra hour, scroll another minute, stop your life for just today. But here's the brutal truth. You don't control life. Life controls you, and life doesn't pause just because you do. Right now, someone your age in London is grinding. Someone in New York is building skills. Someone in Toronto is breaking their patterns. Someone in Sydney is outworking their excuses. And while they're pushing forward, you might be sitting still telling yourself, I'll start tomorrow. Let me ask you something real. When was the last time you woke up excited? When was the last time you felt alive? When was the last time you looked in the mirror and said, I'm actually becoming the person I want to be? If the answer is I don't remember, then you already know the truth you're living, but you're not alive. And that's where wasted lives begin, not in failure, but in comfort. Comfort destroys more dreams than fear ever did. Comfort convinces you that the life you have now is good enough. Comfort whispers that your big dreams are too unrealistic. Comfort makes you settle for a job you hate, a routine that drains you, a lifestyle that keeps you numb. But here's the secret nobody tells you in school, at work, or even at home. Your dream will not wait for you. Your dream does not care about your excuses. Your dream does not pause while you figure things out. Every moment you do nothing, someone else is taking the life you said you wanted. And that's why this message is important. Not to scare you, not to shame you, but to wake you up. You have one life, one shot, one chance to build something you're proud of. You may be thinking, but I'm too far behind. I've wasted years already. I don't know where to start. Yeah. But here's the miracle of life. You can start again today. You can take back control today. You can create momentum today. You can flip the script today. Because the real tragedy isn't that you've wasted time. The tragedy would be if you keep doing it. Let's break something inside you right now. The illusion of time. You think you're young. You think you have plenty of years. You think you can chill until the right moment. Look around you. People in their 30s feel 20 years old. People in their 40s still feel like life hasn't even begun. People in their 50s still say, I'll start next year. And you know what they all have in common? Regret. The quiet, haunting, suffocating voice that says you could have been more. You could have done more. You could have lived differently. You don't want that voice, trust me. Nobody who wasted their life ever says, I'm glad I did nothing. Not one. They all say the same thing, I wish I started earlier. You're not too late. You're not too old. You're not too broken. You're not too far behind. But you are running out of time. If you're watching this from a small room, a bus seat, A noisy apartment, a boring job, a lonely night. This is your moment. This is the moment the story changes. This is the moment you stop wasting your life. This is the moment you start demanding more from yourself. Not tomorrow, not next week, not after I feel motivated. Now, because your future self is watching you and they're begging you, don't waste the life I'm going to live. Segment 2: The Truth About Time. Time is the most powerful force in your life, yet it's the one thing you treat like it's unlimited. People in the UK, the US, Canada, Australia, they all make the same mistake. They assume time moves slowly. They assume they'll always have more of it. They assume the future is guaranteed, but the future is not a promise, it's a gamble. And every day, you're placing the highest bet of your life without even realizing it. Let's be brutally honest. Most people don't lose because they're incapable. They lose because they wait. They wait for the perfect moment. They wait for motivation. They wait to feel ready. They wait for life to magically get easier. But here's the truth you must tattoo into your mind: life never gets easier. You get stronger. And the only way to get stronger is by using the time you have right now, not the time you wish you had. Picture this for a moment. Every minute you spend complaining, someone else is practicing. Every hour you spend scrolling, someone else is learning. Every week you waste procrastinating, someone else is building. Someone else, somewhere in your own country, is taking action on the same dream you're delaying. People love to blame luck, but luck favors the one who shows up. Opportunity favors the prepared. Success favors the consistent. Time favors no one. Think about the people you admire most: the entrepreneurs, the athletes, the creators, the leaders. You think they got there because they had more talent than you. No, many of them started with nothing. They had no support, no money, no special background, but they had one thing: they refused to waste time. You know what separates a winner from a watcher action? A winner treats time like gold. A watcher treats time like dust. If you want to change your life, you must start respecting time the way successful people do. Because the truth is harsh but simple. Every minute you waste is a minute you never get back. You can lose money and make it again. You can lose friends and make new ones. You can lose opportunities and find others, but lose time. You can never replace it. It's gone forever. Look at your own life. How many years have slipped away without progress? How many goals have you postponed? How many dreams have you saved for later? How many times have you said, one day, this? But here's what nobody tells you: one day is a myth. There is no one day. There is only today. And today is disappearing as you read this sentence. People in America rush through life like everything is urgent, but they never act on what truly matters. People in the UK plan for years without starting. People in Australia prioritize comfort over growth. People in Canada stay stuck in routines that slowly drain their ambition. Different cultures, same mistake. Everyone believes they have more time than they do, but the people who win, the ones who break through, the ones who transform, the ones who inspire, know something everyone else ignores. Time will either be your partner or your enemy. You choose which, and here's the most painful truth you'll ever hear: time doesn't care about you. It doesn't care about your problems, your excuses, your feelings, your fears. It moves with or without you. Every second is pushing you toward one of two futures: the future you want or the future you fear. Which one you arrive at depends entirely on what you do with your time. Let's talk about regret. People think regret comes from failure. It doesn't. Regret comes from inaction, from knowing you could have tried, could have improved, could have changed, but didn't. Regret is the voice that whispers, "You wasted the life you were supposed to live." You don't want that voice. No matter what country you live in, no matter where you're starting from, no matter how behind you feel, your relationship with time will decide the outcome of your life. So let me ask you something uncomfortable. If you died 1 year from today, just one, how would you live this year? Would you still waste time on distractions? Would you still delay your goals? Would you still let fear control you? Would you still scroll endlessly? Or would you finally take action? Here's something powerful. If you learn to live with urgency, you will achieve more in 1 year than most people achieve in 10. Urgency is not stress. Urgency is clarity. Urgency is purpose. Urgency is ownership. Urgency is the refusal to waste the only resource you can't refill: time. You want a better life? Start by treating your minutes like they matter. You want more confidence. Start using your hours better than everyone around you. You want success. Start fighting for your days like your life depends on them, because it does. The clock is running. Your future is calling. Your life is happening. Don't waste it. Segment 3. The silent battle inside you. There's a battle happening inside you right now. You may not notice it. You may not talk about it. But you feel it every morning when you wake up, every night before you sleep, every time you look at your life and whisper to yourself, "I should be further than this." This battle is not against the world, not against society, not against your circumstances. It's against the weaker version of you, the version that chooses comfort over growth, the version that hits snooze instead of getting up, the version that scrolls endlessly instead of learning, the version that wastes time instead of building a future. And here's the truth. Most people in the UK, America, Canada, and Australia never hear. Your biggest enemy is not the world, it's your own habits. Habits are powerful. Habits are invisible. Habits shape your life quietly, day after day, without you even realizing what's happening. Look at your daily routine, how you wake up, how you spend your morning, how you work, how you relax, how you think, how you talk to yourself. These patterns, these tiny choices, are building your destiny behind your back. You don't rise because of one big decision. You rise because of hundreds of small decisions you make every day. But the same way small good habits build your life, small bad habits destroy it. Not suddenly, not dramatically, but slowly, very slowly, like a leak that fills the entire floor while you sleep. This is why your life feels stuck. Not because you're incapable, not because you're unlucky, not because success is for other people. It's because your daily battles are being lost in silence. Let's break down the real problem. You want a better life, but you're living with worse habits. You want confidence, but your routine is built on avoidance. You want success, but your daily behavior is built on delay. You want a strong mindset, but your thoughts are built on self-doubt. You want discipline, but your days are built on comfort. And here is the painful truth you need to accept before anything changes. You cannot create a new life with the same old patterns. You must destroy the habits that are destroying you. You must stop negotiating with the weaker version of yourself, because every day that weaker version is trying to win. trying to pull you back, trying to keep you small. Think about it like this: inside you lives two people, the person you are now, the person you know you could become. One of them will win. One of them will control your life. One of them will shape your future. But here's what most people never realize: every small decision you make chooses one of them. When you wake up and choose to stay in bed, you're voting for the weaker version. When you start your day with your phone instead of your goals, you're voting for the weaker version. When you avoid the gym, avoid hard tasks, avoid responsibility, you're voting for the weaker version. But when you push yourself, when you do the difficult thing, when you act even without motivation, you're voting for the stronger version. And those votes add up every day, every hour, every moment. This is why people in countries with stable lifestyles like the UK, US, Australia, Canada often get trapped. Comfort is everywhere. Food is easy. Entertainment is endless. Convenience is addictive. Comfort becomes a blanket that slowly smothers your ambition. People don't fail because life is too hard. They fail because life is too easy. Ease makes you weak. Ease makes you slow. Ease makes you postpone everything important. Ease makes you forget your hunger. You want to know why the strongest people come from struggle? Because pain forces discipline, because difficulty forces creativity, because hunger forces action. But here's the twist: you don't need tragedy to wake up, you don't need rock bottom to change, you don't need dramatic pain to evolve. You need awareness, you need accountability, you need truth. And the truth is simple: the life you want only belongs to the strongest version of you, not the comfortable you, not the distracted you, not the fearful you, not the procrastinating you. You can either let that stronger version die, or you can let it rise. And rising begins with one decision: stop feeding the weaker self. Stop giving it power. Stop giving it excuses. Stop letting it negotiate your future. Every time you choose action over comfort, discipline over distraction, purpose over pleasure, you weaken the weaker you and strengthen the version of you that you've always imagined becoming. Remember this permanently: you are not stuck because you lack potential. You are stuck because you keep choosing the version of you that wastes your potential. The war inside you is real, but so is the winner inside you. Choose a stronger one every day, every moment, every decision. Segment 4: the cost of wasting your potential. There comes a moment in every person's life when they finally understand something powerful, painful, and unavoidable. Your potential comes with a price, and whether you pay that price or avoid it, both decisions have consequences. People in the UK, the US, Canada, Australia, no matter where you're from, grow up hearing phrases like follow your dreams, work hard, be successful. But nobody talks about the brutal cost of wasted potential. Potential is not a blessing, it is a responsibility, a weight, a pressure, a silent expectation from the best version of yourself. And ignoring that potential doesn't make it disappear, it makes it rot. Think about it like this: inside you exists a life you know you could live. The healthier version of you, the disciplined version, the successful version, the confident version, the version that actually wakes up excited and goes to bed proud. But here's the painful truth: that version dies every time you waste a day. Not dramatically, not loudly, but silently, slowly, like a light fading, dimmer and dimmer until it's gone. People talk about depression, burnout, emptiness. But do you know what creates those feelings for many people? Not failure, not trauma, not rejection. wasted potential. The soul knows when you're living below your capabilities. You can lie to your parents, your friends, your followers, but your inner self sees every hour you waste. It sees every opportunity you avoid. It sees every goal you abandon, and it punishes you with guilt, uneasiness, and disappointment. Let's face the truth. It doesn't matter if you live in a rich country. It doesn't matter if you have comfort. It doesn't matter if you're not struggling for food or shelter. You can still waste your life in silence while looking fine on the outside. There are people in London with stable incomes who feel empty. People in New York with good jobs who feel lost. People in Toronto with comfortable routines who feel stuck. People in Sydney with plenty of opportunities who feel unfulfilled. Why? Because comfort without purpose becomes suffering, because routine without progress becomes a prison. Here's something most people never realize until they're older. The pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of regret lasts forever. You think waking up early is painful? Try waking up at 50 realizing you built nothing. You think skipping distractions is painful? Try looking back and seeing a decade of wasted time. You think taking risks is painful? Try realizing you lived safely and died silently. Potential is expensive. If you don't pay the price through effort, you will pay the price through regret. And regret is the most expensive currency in life. It costs more than money, more than comfort, more than failure. Regret eats your joy. Regret steals your peace. Regret keeps you awake at night, replaying every chance you didn't take. Regret points at the life you could have lived and whispers, "This should have been you." Let me ask you something real. Do you think people regret trying? No. They regret not trying. They regret staying average. They regret living safely. They regret settling. They regret being scared of judgment. People from every corner of the world have one thing in common on their deathbed. They don't regret what they did. They regret what they didn't do. And you still have time. You still have strength. You still have a chance. But potential without action is poison. It fills you with anxiety because deep inside you know you're capable of more. It fills you with frustration because your actions don't match your dreams. It fills you with shame because your habits don't match your goals. But here is the most empowering truth: you can change the price you pay. You can stop paying with regret and start paying with discipline. You can stop paying with excuses and start paying with effort. You can stop paying with wasted days and start paying with consistent actions. The life you want is not on sale. There are no discounts, no shortcuts, no easy mode, but the price is always worth it. Because the moment you start rising, the moment you begin to build yourself, the moment you stop wasting time, you feel something powerful: freedom. The freedom of knowing you're finally becoming the person you were meant to be. The freedom of waking up with purpose instead of stress. The freedom of looking in the mirror and feeling proud instead of guilty. The cost of wasted potential is too painful to pay for the rest of your life. Pay the cost of discipline now, while you still have time. Your future self is waiting, and they deserve better than the life you're wasting. Segment 5. The discipline you're afraid of. Most people talk about success like it's some magical achievement that just falls into your lap when the stars align. But here's the reality: success is not magic. Success is not talent. Success is not luck. Success is discipline. And discipline is the very thing people avoid their entire lives. People in the UK say, I'm tired. People in America say, it's too hard. People in Canada say, I'll try later. People in Australia say, I'll start next week. Different countries, same excuses, because discipline is uncomfortable and human beings are naturally addicted to comfort. But here's the twist: comfort destroys your future. Discipline builds it. You think discipline is too hard? Try living a life where you're constantly disappointed in yourself. You think discipline takes too much effort? Try living with the weight of regret on your chest every night. You think discipline is painful? Try waking up at 45 with no confidence, no progress, and no identity. Let's be honest, discipline is not the enemy. Your avoidance of discipline is. It's not discipline that's hard, it's your mindset, it's the story you tell yourself every time things get uncomfortable. But here's the truth you need to absorb deeply. Your feelings don't matter, your future does. You're not going to feel motivated every day. You're not going to feel inspired every morning. You're not going to feel powerful every time you get tired. But discipline doesn't care about how you feel. Discipline is the decision to do what needs to be done, not because it's easy, not because you want to, but because it's necessary. Think about athletes you admire, actors you admire, entrepreneurs you admire. Do you think they woke up every single day excited? Do you think they loved every step of the grind? Do you think they felt motivated 24/7? No. But they understood something most people never learn. Motivation creates moments. Discipline creates lives. And the life you want, the body you want, the confidence you want, the money you want, the success you want, is hiding behind the discipline you keep avoiding. You say you want to change your life, but are you willing to change your habits? You say you want success, but are you willing to do what successful people do? You say you want a better future, but are you willing to sacrifice a comfortable present? Here's something powerful. Discipline is not a punishment. Discipline is self-respect. When you keep promises to yourself, you grow stronger. Your confidence gets bigger. Your self-belief grows. You stop feeling lost. You stop feeling weak. You stop feeling like a failure, because every time you follow through, you're proving something to yourself. I can rely on me. And that is where true confidence comes from. Not from compliments, not from achievements, not from other people believing in you. Confidence comes from you keeping your own word. But every time you break your promises to yourself, every time you say you'll start tomorrow, every time you avoid what you know you need to do, you're telling yourself, I can't trust myself. And that destroys your confidence more than any critic ever could. But here's the good news. Discipline is not something you're born with. It's something you build, like a muscle, like a skill. Start small. Wake up a little earlier. Read a little every day. Exercise even when you're tired. Study even when you're distracted. Say no to things that waste your time. The more you choose discipline, the stronger it becomes. The less you choose comfort, the weaker your excuses become. Here's something you need to hear clearly. Your dreams don't need motivation. They need discipline. Your goals don't need inspiration. They need consistency. Your future doesn't need dreams. It needs decisions. You're not failing because you're incapable. You're failing because you've built a life around comfort instead of discipline. But you can rebuild your habits. You can rebuild your mindset. You can rebuild your future. And it starts with one simple rule. Do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it, because that is the moment the stronger version of you wins. That is the moment your potential grows. That is the moment your future shifts. Discipline is not your enemy. It is your only path to a life you can be proud of. Choose it before your life becomes something you regret. Segment 6. Your environment is controlling your life. If you've ever wondered why your life feels stuck, why you can't stay consistent, why your goals feel impossible, the answer might not be inside you, the answer might be around you, because your environment, the people you talk to, the places you go, the habits you see, the energy you absorb, shapes your future more than your intentions ever will. People in the UK, the US, Australia, Canada, they all ask the same question: why can't I stay motivated? But they never ask the real question: am I in an environment where motivation can survive? Imagine planting a seed. Even if the seed is perfect, if you put it in bad soil, it will never grow. You are that seed. Your goals are that seed. Your potential is that seed. But the soil around you, your environment, determines whether you grow or decay. Look around your life, not at your dreams, not at your plans, not at your motivation. Look at your environment. Who do you talk to every day? Do they push you forward or drag you down? Do they inspire you or distract you? Do they talk about growth or gossip? Do they challenge you to become better or keep you comfortably average? Because here's the truth: your circle is either your engine or your anchor. You can have ambition the size of the sky, but if you surround yourself with people who think small, act small, expect small, you will shrink to match them. And this is scientifically proven. Humans mimic the behavior of their environment. You become what you see. You absorb what you hear. You copy what surrounds you, even without realizing it. If everyone around you wastes time, you will waste time. If everyone around you spends money without thinking, you will too. If everyone around you sleeps late, eats badly, complains constantly, you will blend into that culture. Not because you're weak, but because that's how humans are wired. But here's something powerful: if you change your environment, you change your life. This is why people who move to new cities suddenly transform, why people who get new jobs gain confidence, why people who join fitness communities become fit, why people who leave toxic groups suddenly start growing again. Environment is not about location, it's about influence. Let me ask you something real. Who influences your life right now? Is it people who encourage discipline, people who talk about goals, people who want to grow, people who hold you accountable, people who are building something, or is it people who are comfortable being average, people who oversleep, overthink, overeat, overspend, people who complain but never change, people who drag you into distractions? If your circle doesn't push you forward, it's pulling you back. There is no neutral environment. You are either rising or rotting, growing or shrinking, becoming stronger or becoming weaker. Your environment is the silent architect of your future. It builds you or it breaks you. Let's talk about another side of environment, the digital environment. What are you consuming online? Who are you following? What videos fill your feed? What voices fill your mind? If your phone is filled with noise, drama, cheap entertainment, endless scrolling, you're not just wasting time, you're destroying focus. Your mind becomes what it consumes. If you watch 100 pointless videos a day, you don't just lose time, you lose identity. If you follow influencers who show fake lifestyles, you don't just lose confidence, you lose gratitude. If you engage with negativity, you don't just lose peace, you lose direction. Your digital environment matters as much as your physical one, maybe more, because you spend more hours online than anywhere else. Here's a truth you cannot ignore: your environment is stronger than your willpower. You cannot out-discipline a toxic environment. You cannot out-motivate a lazy circle. You cannot outgrow a place where you are not allowed to grow. If you want to change your life, you must change your environment. Start removing dead weight. Start deleting distractions. Start distancing yourself from people who drain you. Start choosing people who respect your goals. Start surrounding yourself with examples, not excuses. You don't need to cut everyone off suddenly. Just stop giving time to people who waste it. Stop giving energy to people who drain it. Stop giving attention to things that don't deserve it. And here's the beautiful part: when you begin to change your environment, your mindset will automatically shift. Your habits will adjust, your discipline will strengthen, your confidence will rise, your goals will feel possible. Because environment is not just where you live, it's where your future lives. Protect it, shape it, choose it wisely. Because the life you want cannot grow in the environment you're stuck in now. Segment 7: the moment everything changes. There comes a moment in every person's life when something inside them snaps, not in a bad way, but in a way that finally wakes them up. A moment where you look at your life, your habits, your relationships, your future, and you realize, if I don't change now, nothing will ever change. People in the UK feel this moment in quiet frustration. People in the US feel it in exhaustion. People in Canada feel it in loneliness. People in Australia feel it in routine fatigue. Different countries, different cultures, but the same realization: your life doesn't improve until you take responsibility for it. Responsibility is the turning point. Not motivation, not inspiration, not luck. Responsibility. The moment you stop blaming your circumstances, your past, your parents, the economy, the government, your job, your partner, your upbringing, and you look in the mirror and say, I am the reason I am where I am, and I am the only one who can get me out. That moment is rare. Most people never reach it. Most people spend their entire lives blaming everything except themselves. But the people who rise, the people who break cycles, change their story, rewrite their destiny, those are the ones who finally take ownership. Not ownership of the past, ownership of the future. You cannot change where you started, but you can change where you finish. You cannot change your childhood, but you can change the way you live adulthood. You cannot change the time you've wasted, but you can change the time you have left. This moment, the moment of ownership, is the true beginning of your transformation. Think about the strongest people you admire. Not celebrities, not influencers, real people, the ones who turned their life around. They all started at the same point: a decision, a commitment, a refusal to continue living the same way. Responsibility is not glamorous, it's not exciting, it's not cinematic, it's quiet, it's internal, it's personal. It happens when no one is watching, when you're alone in your room staring at the ceiling, when you're in your car thinking about your future, when you're at work feeling stuck, when you wake up tired of your own excuses. That's when responsibility hits you. And when it does, everything shifts. Not instantly, not overnight, but deeply. Because once you take responsibility, excuses start sounding weak. Distractions start feeling disgusting. Laziness becomes embarrassing. Comfort becomes suspicious. Something inside you whispers, you're meant for more than this. And that whisper is the beginning of the strongest version of you. Let's talk about the truth. Most people think their life will change when they feel ready. But readiness is a lie. You won't feel ready. You won't feel confident. You won't feel prepared. You won't feel strong. You become strong through action, not before it. You want confidence. Start doing the things you avoid. You want discipline. Start doing the things you resist. You want success. Start doing the things everyone else avoids. Responsibility flips the switch from passive to active. From why is life this way to how am I allowing this? From I hope things change to I'm going to change things myself. You stop waiting for opportunities. You start creating them. You stop waiting for motivation. You start acting without it. You stop waiting for a perfect moment. You start using the moment you have. You stop waiting for someone to save you. You realize no one is coming. And that's not depressing, it's liberating. Because if no one is coming to save you, then nothing can stop you from saving yourself. This is the moment powerful people are born, not in comfort, not in safety, not in routine, but in accountability. When you take responsibility, you unlock a mindset most people never reach. If it must be done, I will do it. No complaining, no negotiating, no waiting. You become unstoppable not because you're stronger than everyone else, but because you stop quitting like everyone else. Your life changes when you stop expecting it to be easy and start demanding more from yourself. You stop saying, I can't, and you start saying, I will try. You stop saying, this is just how I am, and you start saying, this is who I choose to become. Responsibility is the gateway. Discipline is the bridge. Consistency is the journey. Success is the destination. And once you walk through that gateway, your old life doesn't stand a chance. Segment 8. Your new life starts when this one ends. There comes a point in every journey where the old version of you must die for the new one to live. It sounds dramatic, but it's true. You cannot step into a powerful future while dragging the weak, distracted, undisciplined version of yourself behind you. That old identity is heavy. It slows you down. It convinces you to quit. It whispers lies that keep you small. And here's the truth. People in the UK, the US, Canada, Australia, everywhere eventually realize your life changes only when you decide that the old you is no longer allowed to exist. You've spent years carrying versions of yourself that no longer serve your future. The procrastinator, the overthinker, the excuse maker, the comfort seeker, the I'll start tomorrow version of you, the maybe one day version, the this is just how I am version. Those versions kept you alive, but they never helped you live. There's a difference. Being alive is automatic, living is intentional, and most people never truly live because they never let go of the identity that keeps them trapped. Let me ask you something very real. What part of you needs to die for your life to change? The laziness, the fear, the self doubt, the bad habits, the reliance on motivation, the addiction to distraction, the toxic relationships, the environments that drain you, the lies you tell yourself. Because here's the truth. A new life cannot grow on old behavior. You can pray, plan, hope, manifest, but none of it matters if the old you stays in charge. The version of you that wastes time cannot lead you to a disciplined life. The version of you that fears judgment cannot lead you to success. The version of you that avoids responsibility cannot lead you to greatness. At some point, you must make the decision, I'm done. Done with excuses, done with delays, done with living below your potential, done with letting fear choose your future, done with waking up and repeating yesterday, done with being a passenger in your own life. This decision is not loud. It's not public. It's not something you announce to the world. It's a quiet moment when you look at yourself and say, I deserve better, so I will become better starting now. And that moment becomes the death certificate for the old you. When you stop negotiating with comfort, you become dangerous. When you stop responding to distractions, you become focused. When you stop waiting for the perfect moment, you start creating it. When you stop expecting life to change for you, you start changing it yourself. Transformation is not about intensity, it's about identity. If you keep trying to improve your life without improving your identity, nothing changes. You don't become disciplined by trying harder. You become disciplined by becoming the type of person who doesn't break promises to themselves. You don't become confident by pretending. You become confident by proving to yourself that you can do hard things. You don't become successful by dreaming. You become successful by acting, even when you're tired, even when you're scared, even when you don't feel like it. Your old life ends the moment you stop being loyal to the habits that built it. Remember this permanently. Every day you wake up is the funeral of the old version of you or the rebirth of it. Which one you choose decides your future. You cannot carry both versions. One must die and one must lead. Your new life, the disciplined life, the focused life, the successful life requires sacrifices. It requires saying no when your old self would say yes. It requires choosing growth over comfort. It requires choosing truth over excuses. It requires choosing the long term over the instant. It won't be easy, but living with regret is harder. Living with wasted potential is harder. Living the same year 50 times is harder. You deserve a life where you wake up proud, where you sleep peacefully, where you look in the mirror and respect the person staring back, where you know you're living the life you were built for, not the life you settled for. So let this be your declaration. The moment everything shifts, the moment your old story ends, the moment your new identity begins, not tomorrow, not next week, but right now, because your new life is waiting and it cannot begin until the old you ends. Close that chapter, shut that door, bury that version of you, and rise. Rise into who you were always meant to become. Rise into the life you know you're capable of living. Rise into the future that your old self was too afraid to chase. This is your moment. This is your turning point. This is the end of your old life and the beginning of your real one. Subscribe now, join the Bright World English Academy family, and let's start your English learning journey together.